Hello there, and welcome to the Hope It Helps podcast, where we together try to find the calm amidst the chaos of everyday life. Derek Evans here, your host, and today it's all about a question that we must learn to answer. Just have to. There's no way around it. Of course, that question is, who am I? I don't like it when people say, who am I? I think you have to say it like this. Who am I? Can you answer this question? This article is almost entirely about why it's so important to not just know the answer to this question, but to recognize the answer will change. The answer will change as we change. And to be prepared to ask this question to ourselves over and over on a regular basis. We have to, because ultimately we have to understand ourselves, right? Not only do we have to understand ourselves, but we have to be able to refer to ourselves. If not, then what? So most of our life is spent in this struggle to find security. And this ties directly into the main reason why we need to be clear with this question. Of course, this search for security all alone, just by itself, is an expression of insecurity. So as long as we're searching for security, that is a sign that we do not have it. Think about how simple and how good things could be if we were just totally secure with everything as it is right now. No change. We do so much grasping for things. We tell ourselves things like, oh, well, as soon as I become a manager, then I'll feel secure about everything. I'll feel happy. Or as soon as I get the IRS paid off, then I'll feel safe. Then I'll feel secure. Or as soon as we get this house paid off, then I'll feel okay. Or we always look to these things that are kind of in the future. Once the kids are all up and grown up, then I'll feel okay. Like as long as they're okay, I'm okay. We always pick something in the future that we use to tell ourselves that we'll be happy one day. And that's a shame, because we can have that right now, right here, right now. If we can have that at any point in time in the future, then we can have it right here, right now. So think about how good things could be if we were able to adopt that. We felt totally secure anyway. If you felt totally 100% secure right now, how would your life be different? Now, this can be achieved, but we must know who we are before we can do anything else. We have to know who we are. And it sounds kind of silly of a question. Who am I? What do you mean, who am I? I'm Derek. Who are you? But that's not what I mean. What I mean is who we are deep down, to the depths of our soul, in fact. Because when we feel insecure, it's directly a result of fear or fear-based thoughts. Fear is created, of course, and owned solely by ego, or our false sense of self, the role that we play, the mask that we wear, this thing that we're trying to show ourselves to be, that we're constantly trying to protect, and it's constantly trying to protect itself. That's the ego. And of course, fear is extremely toxic. Toxic energy, toxic to the mind, toxic to the body. But it does serve the ego's agenda to ultimately preserve itself. So the ego keeps us afraid in order for us to remain focused on our own needs versus the needs of others, or the whole, everyone. This is the reason why people jump from one worry to the next. We all know someone like that. We've all done that at some point. Our true self, however, is fearless. Our soul is fearless. So if we can, upon feeling insecure, immediately reference our true self, we can eliminate fear. When we reference our true self or our soul, we're automatically setting the ego aside. That said, it's important to never wrestle with your ego. Recognize when it's controlling your thoughts and actions, but don't fight it. Just nicely, politely, calmly say, "Hi there, ego. I know you're here, and you're not going anywhere, but you are not the real me." The ego is not who we are. That's not who we are. Who we are is at the level of the soul. Of course, it's a difficult thing, if we go back to the whole point here, to access the true self if we don't at least have a basic understanding of who we are in the first place. How can we access our soul if we don't know what our soul is all about? How can we reference our true self if we don't know what our true identity is? This is why the one question that we all need to know how to answer is, who am I? By asking this question and going through with the answer, we can identify what aspects of ourselves are the real us, and which are fantasy, unreality, ego, and of course shadow. In order to eliminate fear, we have to reference that true self as often as possible. Reference our soul, the real us, as often as possible. Before we can refer to that true self, we must know the true self. Once we're able to do this, it can become a phenomenal path to relief, a calming mechanism, and hopefully and eventually a way of life. Right here, right now, the true you can awaken right here, right now. Of course, the answer to the question, who am I, is ever changing. It's not a stagnant answer. It changes as we change. But being comfortable asking the question to ourselves is crucial. From what I can experience in the form that I have and with the brain that I have, this is a crucial question. Who am I? And so when you ask yourself the question, who am I, what comes to mind? Here's what's so amazing about this question. You don't have to figure it out. This isn't the same question that we've all been answering since we were kids. What do you want to be when you grow up? That's not what this is. This is who you really are. You don't have to find the answer. Let the answer find you. Just ask the question. Ask the question when you meditate. Ask the question of yourself whenever you're in a situation. Maybe it's a stressful situation, or maybe it's an opportunistic situation. Maybe it's a compassionate situation. Who am I? Just ask the question. You don't have to try to start spitballing or brainstorming answers. Just ask the question. The answer will come to you. So for example, when I say, who am I know that I'm a giver and that I care and I want to help. That's who I am. A giver and a helper, deep down. That's what's there. That's what fulfills me. That's what I'm here for. Is to give, to help. And the question, who am I, always, when I ask the question, it's just what comes to mind. And the same thing will happen for everyone. It may not happen immediately, but it will happen because you already know the answer. You just have to clear everything out of the way so that you can see it. Happy meditating. I really hope this helps. Namaste.